This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. For a long time, Donald Trump has floated himself out there, or at least wanted it out there in the ether that he might extend his term. He has certainly tweeted on multiple occasions that he would like to be president, or it would be possible for Trump to be president on through beyond 2024, 2028, 2032, and beyond. Now, on its face, this is ridiculous because he is an old man and he won't live that long. Some have talked about the fact that what he means is that the Trump legacy, the Trump Republican Party, as he's polluted it from something that was already sinister to something even worse, that it would live on beyond him. That might be true. But because of his authoritarian nature, people have worried, justifiably worried about whether or not he would, especially during this pandemic, cancel or postpone the election to a later date, thus allowing him to stay in power beyond his rightful term. Yesterday, I woke up to a flurry of emails this morning asking about this. Yesterday, in an interview with Time magazine, Jared Kushner, the first son-in-law who happens to have a position within the administration, his purview has been the epidemic of opioid addiction. It has been Middle East peace, and then also he's run a shadow movement or a shadow response to the coronavirus. He's a dumb kid. He is a know-nothing. He is a do-nothing. He is someone who is just born with a silver spoon stuck in one of his orifices and has never really done anything. Certainly has no knowledge of the government or the Constitution. And yesterday he was asked by a Time magazine reporter about postponing the election or pushing it back. His response left a lot to be desired, and it also fueled all of the emails that I got and a lot of worry that Donald Trump might be doing this. Check it out.
Just a few more questions and we'll wrap up. Is there any scenario, including a second outbreak in the fall, where the elections move past November 3rd?
That's too far in the future to tell. Nothing that I'm aware of now, but again, our focus right now is just on getting the country.
Will you commit that the elections will happen on November 3rd?
It's not my decision to make, so I'm not sure I can commit one way or the other. But right now, that's the plan. And again, hopefully, by the time we get to September, October, November, we've done enough work with testing and with all the different things we're trying to do to prevent a future outbreak of the magnitude that would make us shut down again. I really believe that once America opens up, it'll be very hard for America to ever lock down again.
Look, Jared, this is an easy answer because it is out of the purview of Donald Trump, out of his authority to, one, single-handedly push back the election. Absolutely, without a doubt. And I'm going to get to that. But it's an easy answer. You say, no, that he can't do that. But instead, he says, I'm not sure I can commit one way or the other. You just say, you know what, dude? I don't know. That's not what I work on. At the very least, that bad answer would be better than, I'm not sure I can commit one way or the other. Well, this created such a firestorm that he had to come out with a retraction today, just hours ago, where he said, I have not been involved in, nor am I aware of, any discussions about trying to change the date of the presidential election. Easy enough, should have said that the first time. But let me belay your fears, if you have them, that Donald Trump is going to try to do this. One, it doesn't matter whether he tries to do it or not. The Constitution plainly states that his term ends on a specific date and time. So even if he were to try to push it past November into next year, his term ends. But I'll get to that. First, the 28th Congress of the United States passed this law Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that the electors of President and Vice President shall be appointed in each state on the Tuesday after the first Monday in the month of November of each year in which they are to be appointed. It's a law, for one. Furthermore, it is in the United States Constitution, something that clearly we know Donald Trump has no respect or knowledge of, therefore no respect for. The 20th Amendment states, the terms of the vice president, the terms of the president and the vice president shall end at noon on the 20th day of January, and the terms of senators and representatives at noon on the 3rd day of January of the years in which such terms would have ended if this article had not been ratified. And the terms of their successors shall then begin. So it does not matter if Donald Trump tries to pull some weird end around and tries to postpone the election past when his term would be. Because, as I've said before, because of the line of succession, Nancy Pelosi will likely be the next speaker, and she would be in line. If the president and vice president no longer, because their terms end, it would likely be the Speaker of the House. So he can't postpone. And first of all, he wouldn't be able to do that anyway unilaterally. He doesn't have an Article 2 that lets him do whatever he wants, despite what he may think, or despite what he may try to convince the American people of. Listen, I don't know whether this is some sort of trial balloon that they're floating out there to get the pulse of the American people on. It very well could be that. But there would be, I hope there would be protests, in using Trump parlance, the likes of which we've never seen if Donald Trump tried to, in a dictatorial fashion, push back the election. And maybe he's just using this human pupa, Jared Kushner, as a way to float that out there to see what the American people feel about it. For me, I'm not worried about it because I have enough faith in our Constitution, in our founding documents, in the principles of democracy that I still believe we hold fast to, that this isn't going to be a problem. But enough people questioned about it, enough people emailed me and messaged me, wanted me to talk about it, that I thought I should address it. Look, Donald Trump needs to go. The wild and radical things that he says and that he tweets and that he intimates as President of the United States of America are untenable, unacceptable. We can no longer abide the nonsense, the dangerous nonsense. He dedicates more hours per day on Twitter talking about congressmen and women who he doesn't like than he does actually combating this very real existential threat to our society in this virus. He doesn't care about the loss of life, the very real threat to our families and our lives. He talks about testing being easy. Anybody can get it. The only people who can get it if they want it work in the White House. He's pushing right now for us to reopen, carte blanche, while the infection is spreading through the White House itself. He can't even contain the virus in the place he works, in the physical place he works. What makes you think that he is somehow miraculously going to get a stranglehold on it in Nebraska or here in California? He's not. He's not devoting the attention that he needs, even if he had the intellectual bandwidth to do so. I don't believe he does. But even if he did, he's not dedicating enough effort and bandwidth to the problem that is needed. Bradley Whitford yesterday tweeted, Bradley Whitford, the actor who played in Get Out and The West Wing. He played Josh Lyman in The West Wing. He tweeted, the reason that we're just learning the name of Anthony Fauci is because when he was the Obama or the Ebola pandemic or epidemic that was people worried was coming here because we had a couple cases from people who had worked in Africa. The reason we didn't learn Anthony Fauci's name during all that is because Obama listened to him. He didn't need to be the face of the government response to Ebola because Barack Obama was handling it. He was taking the advice of learned individuals around him, educated experts in the field. Donald Trump has not done that. Donald Trump has wanted to be the face as a replacement for experts. Dangerous times, and in dangerous times you need real leaders. We do not have that. And in the absence of real leadership, we are left with only dangerous times. I'm going to stop yelling and screaming. For today. Just for today. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I'd love to know what you think. 714-576-4054. And of course, email me daily at dollemore.com. I hope all of those of you who emailed me about this can rest easy a little bit, that we have both legal and constitutional backup on this issue. If you are in a position to, and you have been thinking about supporting me, supporting independent media, you can click the little join button down there to become a channel member for less than $2 a month. The other way that you can support the channel, you can buy the merch there with the Dollemore Daily shirts, and I've got some podcast stuff down there too. I've got those Treason 45 shirts that are a conversation starter, to say the least. The other way that you can support the show is to share my videos, like and comment. It pushes it. The algorithm, the magical algorithm takes care of the rest of the business. But tell a friend. Anyway, I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. Take care. Be genuine. Take care of one another.